When Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta meets on Monday with President Trump, it will be in some senses like looking into a mirror. Both men are fabulously wealthy scions of powerful families. Both were improbably elected twice in Kenyatta's case after controversial elections. Both are dogged by accusations of corruption. In former times, a trip to the United States for Kenyan officials would include an expectation of lectures on corruption, democracy and the need to respect human rights. On this occasion, that is hugely unlikely. For one, Trump has not kept secret his admiration for strongmen nor his disdain for either democracy or democratic principles. The United States' silence over the Kenyatta administration's deportation of foreign consultants, including an American citizen, working for the opposition's election campaign, as well as its killing of dozens of perceived opposition supporters following the annulled presidential vote last year, was hard to miss. For their part, Kenyatta and his henchmen have made no secret of their wish to institute a benevolent dictatorship in Kenya and to recreate the imperial presidency his father enjoyed during the 15-year period from the country's independence from the United Kingdom in 1963 to his death in 1978. It was during this time that the Kenyattas rose from having virtually nothing to becoming the richest family in the land, largely through preying on public resources. Like Trump, Kenyatta has developed an affinity for authoritarian states, the most obvious being the Chinese. As many across the world last week were condemning Ugandan strongman Yoweri Museveni for the brutal treatment meted out to an opposition lawmaker and musician, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, better known by his stage name, Bobi Wine, Kenyatta's deputy, William Ruto, posted photographs of himself hanging out with Museveni as he was in Uganda to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. At the United Nations, Kenya has voted with the likes of North Korea, Myanmar, Iran and Sudan to try to shoot down a UN resolution recognizing and protecting the role of human rights defenders. In Trumpian fashion, Kenya continues to push for immunity for heads of state from prosecution at the International Criminal Court, despite a clear provision in the Kenyan constitution specifically allowing for such. The self-serving nature of this push is evident from the fact that the possibility of charges for crimes against humanity at the ICC, in relation to their roles in the 2008 post-election violence, still hangs above Kenyatta's and Ruto's head. This is despite the failure of their prosecutions at The Hague in 2014. For both men, the Kenyatta-Trump summit will also be a welcome distraction from domestic corruption accusations. Trump has just weathered one of the worst weeks of his presidency. His former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, was found guilty on tax and bank fraud charges, and his former personal lawyer fixer Michael Cohen pleaded guilty to violations of banking, tax and campaign finance laws, the latter directly implicating Trump in his crimes. As for Kenyatta, he leaves Kenya in the wake of an opinion poll that ranked him and Ruto among the foremost corrupt politicians and a faltering anti-corruption drive that has implicated members of his family and some of his top allies.